Hi, guys, and welcome to Man-O-Rama, where we're going to talk about man's best friend and all that and more. Stay tuned, everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Who else is? Have you ever noticed, as you can tell, we're on StreamYards tonight, and difficulties, baby, but we move on. We move on. I know that Ordy is in the background somewhere. He's getting something connected, but let's get started, everybody. Vincent, how's your week?
My week has gone rather swimmingly, my friend. Got a couple of things accomplished. Had a few good things happen to me. So, yeah, everything's gravy right now.
That's good. Tyler, how's your day going?
Hey, pretty good. Same old for the most part. We've had really good weather in my area, so just been trying to spend a lot of time outside, take my dog on hikes and to the beach and everything. So yeah, just loving the weather.
That's good. The weather is kind of nice where we're at. I'm not gonna lie. Andy, how's your week been?
Actually, I've got some fabulous weather here too. It's been like about 75 degrees, low humidity.
Gorgeous day today.
Oh man, it's awesome.
I'm like 10 minutes away from you, so yeah, the weather has been gorgeous.
And we don't get that often, Vincent. We're usually we get like little bits and pieces. Most of the time it's just you're tolerating levels of humidity, levels of rain. But this last couple of days has been really great. But pretty good day today. I had to rearrange my stuff this week because tomorrow or Thursday rather, I got to take my son up and get his wisdom teeth out. And I get to try and record him as he's all doped up afterwards and try.
You gotta film it.
Make him famous on YouTube. Do it. Do it.
And my man's best friend just decided to tear through the screen in the living room because he saw somebody walk by outside. He thought it was another dog and he wants to go play. So I had to raise my voice to him, but he just went, oops. So, but I still love him because he's awesome.
There you go. Ordy.
Yes, hi, present.
Hey, how's your week been?
You know what? As mirroring everybody else, fantastic fucking weather. Barely making ball soup. It's in the mid 90s. Sky is blue as darkest blue you can imagine. It's just amazing out here in this part of the desert.
Nice.
Yeah. Work has been awesome and just living the Ordy life.
There you go.
And then I found $20.
And then I found $20. Even Steven.
Yay. But my week's been pretty good. Working a lot, helping a friend out with some stuff, and had Tyler over last night and made fried chicken. And we had a few beers and just talked and hung out, and it was pretty fun.
Hell yeah, I brought cupcakes.
Yeah, you did.
Woohoo!
But yeah, so today it's about man's best friend, because we really care about dogs, and I really do appreciate dogs, and I think every guy should know that stuff because they're cool. They're cool little guys. But yeah, I am trying to work everything in the background here. I'm not used to StreamYards. I'll just admit to that. But here we go, getting everything set up. We're going to get into the first segment here. And that is something. I don't know. Figure it out.
First segment is what's wrong with his face?
Twitter. What's wrong with your face? Twitter.
Hey, you guys.
That's funny if you know Red Letter Media.
So we're going to talk about pretty much don't be that guy. It's the easiest thing ever. And
Oh, so many guys not to be lately.
I know,
So
right? Oh, not that much. Whoa there, Steve. Do you know how to use a computer? No.
Computer.
I know. Do your thing. All right. Bear with me, everyone. Bear with me. I'm only one short bus. All right. Can anyone read that? Or if I'm. No?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you see it.
All right, cool. So this one says, "Hey, Nick, whatever that person's name is, please DM me. I am the one who donated $600 to you in your most recent stream. Do you guys see
Jesus.
any problem with this? I imagine Nicolio is probably a Twitch streamer, female related. I don't know.
She's probably ignoring his DMs and looking at her bank statements.
See, here's the big problem with this: is under ordinary circumstances, $600. That's what 12 hookers, and now in these economic times, you could probably get at least 20 for that because like times are tough out there. $20, $20.
Yeah,
That's at least 200 sessions behind the Circle K.
Yeah.
you're the expert. You should know.
I can tell you, $600 would get you an hour with a fairly attractive woman at a Nevada brothel who will let you touch her butthole.
Mm.
Yes.
Anyways, so they're going to be interesting. There's some tweets and there's some images I found. Like this one, guys. What's the problem with this?
The problem is he's alive.
Yeah,
The dog looks so miserable.
Yeah. Take the dog and leave him.
take the dog and leave him.
Yeah.
It just
I get the shoes, especially out here in the desert. I'm fine with that. People dress up their dogs. Okay. Whatever.
Ordy. One
But-
problem. That is not the desert. That is Oregon.
That's what I'm saying. I'm okay. Also, if you're like in the frozen tundra, also a good time to shoe up your dog. But other than this, just get yourself some dolls and let your dog be a dog.
He can't dress up. It's a temperate zone. What's he doing dressing up his dog?
Wait. So have you guys ever dressed up your dogs? There's a question.
I put a hat on my dog once. He did not like it.
Well, see,
No.
I don't count that.
I used to have 2 dogs until a couple of years ago, and Frank, my pug, was really super old, and his hair was falling out. So when the weather got cold, I bought sweaters and coats for him because he needed them when he went outside.
But see, okay, here's the thing. That's a little bit different, though. You're trying to keep your dog comfortable with the temperature and stuff. I'm talking about that right there.
Oh, that
Like-
shit! Oh, good God, no.
There's
No.
a difference. Like for my dog, I'll put a little jacket on if it's really cold out. Even though my dog's a husky poodle, it can handle cold weathers pretty decent. But that stuff right there, no bueno.
Yeah, I would dress my dog for the weather, and occasionally a Halloween costume, but that was when I had trick or treaters in the neighborhood. Other than that, no.
That dog looks so miserable.
Which can we talk for a second? How trunk or treat has just ruined Halloween.
Yeah,
Anyway, moving on.
yeah.
Jack
Okay,
won't even
so-
wear a harness.
So here's this thing. I don't know if I can get. Let me zoom in. The image is blurred out, but it's what this is. This person said, "I find this exciting." I don't know what the image is. We all can probably take an idea. All right. The person on the bottom, NoHo66, said, "Hello, can I pay you monies to have the sex in you? I am a simp." Guys, what is the issue with this? That's
That's actually a troll. Whenever
no issue
anybody
there. That
uses
guy is game.
sex,
Thank you.
that's a troll.
Thank you, because I was really. I saw this to Garrett. I showed him. He started laughing, and I was like, "Dude, this is bad grammar." But if it's a troll, awesome, well played. Because
No, because
the in you that gets me. That's funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
anytime you see to sex, especially when it's THE or TEH,
Yeah.
sex, that's usually just trolling or just, show hole or, or what's the other one?
Also, you've got a
Off.
Halloween costume on the private chat there, Steve.
oh, what?
Check your DMs.
Check my DMs. Oh man, why?
Absolutely badass. I love it. That's
Jesus.
fantastic.
Oh man. All right, so we'll go to the next one.
Show me your bobs.
Cloth off.
All right, so there, right here. Here's another. Don't be that guy. We're just gonna sit and watch this. We'll commentate it. Now, guys, what is the problem with this?
They're
Tim
gonna
Walls
catch on
isn't
fire.
drinking his favorite beverage.
It's
Wow, they're so cool.
See, I think I tweeted about this earlier, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was about someone said, "What are their wives doing?" It's like, yeah, I think we all know what their wives are doing while they're doing this, and I put it in a little
Scissoring.
anime gif of this chick getting pounded.
So what were you gonna say?
Well, one, now your little outdoor fire pit is going to smell like roasted nylon forever.
Yeah.
Two,
It was so
it's
worth it.
quite ballsy because 99% of the time, whenever anybody tries to burn a flag, they set themselves on fire, which is just absolutely fantastic. I was kind of hoping for it. I just wanted to see burns and ER and fucking EMTs everywhere.
Yeah. Now here's the problem that I have with it. I'm not. Look, I understand that some people have burnt the American flag, burned flags, burned jerseys, whatnot. Okay, cool. If you want to do that, cool, do it. You're an idiot, but that's just me. If you want to go do that, sure. One, I know you just spent money on that, so that money goes straight to Trump because I guarantee it, they were too stupid to even look up Amazon and buy it, and they just bought it from the Trump website, and that's where they got it. I guarantee you, because they're that.
Either way, he's getting residuals.
Yeah. But here's the other problem. And I seen a gay guy burn a pride flag and all that stuff. I'm not for that. I think it's stupid. Like, if you don't want to support it, don't buy it. I just think it's two beta cucks who are dumb. And I bet you anything it was their wife's idea to do that.
Yeah, so they'd go outside and they'd get some alone time.
Okay, while we're on the topic, real quick, I was thinking about you last Friday when I was driving up to Carson City, going through Gardnerville. There's actually a Trump store. You don't see that for other candidates. Just a literal Trump store. Like
now,
store,
is it okay?
It was like a spirit Halloween.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, is it like one of those firework places on the side of the street? That's like
No.
warehouse?
It was a real storefront and everything.
Oh, that's cool. Well, guys, we're going to do a road trip. Hey, we're just going to go on down to Carson City.
Do a live cast.
I'm going to buy everything. Oh, man.
And a jelly donut to go.
Yeah.
Give
Well,
me a
here-
fifth
okay.
of anything and a jelly donut.
Here's a question I have, Ordy. You just gave me an idea. Before we get to the main questions, do any of you on the panel like jelly donuts or any filled donuts?
Nah.
No?
No, actually, I'm partial to plain cake myself because I dip them in my coffee. So.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's how you do
Yeah,
it.
plain cake and coffee, or chocolate bars, maple bars.
Fucking bear claws. Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, I dig bear claws as long as they don't put the raisins in it. Give me extra almonds, leave the raisins out.
Ugh.
Well, just in case, we're gonna give you extra raisins.
Back when I used to eat donuts last week, I had a Boston cream. It was great.
When I
I like
used
how
to eat donuts
you
only
just
7
weaved
days
into that.
ago.
Back when I, last week ate some donuts.
I've got 2 maple bars in the fridge right now for morning
Oh, nice.
with sprinkles.
Very nice. But here's the first question that I have for you guys. What made you get a dog? We'll start with Vincent.
What made me get a dog? Well, I've always enjoyed the company of dogs, and I was not in a really good headspace at the time, so I decided to get myself a companion. And hey, that's pretty much it. And once I got that dog, about a year and a half later, I got another one. They both got along, so I had 2 of them. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us. Frank died 2 years ago. It'll be next month. It'll be 2 years. And Sam, I just lost this past January. So
Okay.
yeah, the hurt is still a little too near. So I'm gonna hold off about another month or 2 before I decide on getting another dog.
Okay. Tyler.
Yeah, we always had dogs growing up, mainly labs. But really, what was the final push of like, fuck it, I'm getting a dog? My sister was living with me for like 2 years, and she has a dog. And man, we just became instant homies. And I would take him on runs, take him to the beach. And when she moved out, I was like really sad. I admittedly kind of missed the dog more than my sister. My wife at the time.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal.
Being honest, my wife at the time, she always knew that we were going to get a dog one day, and I just went ahead and got one. I was like, "Hey, I thought like you'd be cool with this," and it was the best decision I ever made. I fucking love my dog, dude.
Yeah. Ordy.
Again, I've always had the family's always had dogs. Grew up with dogs. As I get older, the dogs get smaller, and like Vincent, I lost my silly little girl last June, and but she was 18, and just I'm getting ready to start making the house dog proof again. It's getting to be time for another dog.
What was your breed? Because 18 is that's a long
It was
time
a
for a dog.
you know what? Save that for the next question of how did you
Okay.
get your dog? Because I'll tell you that yeah, that's part of the story.
All right, cool. Yeah. Andy.
Well, it was like this. My wife and I were engaged, and she always used to. I grew up with dogs. We had Puddles, who looked just like Benji, and then my brother he was given a half German Shepherd, half Husky, named Seamus, and who was pretty much uncontrollable because he never got it fixed. And that led into me getting my first dog, which was completely accidental. I can go into that if you want, or unless you want to save that for the next thing.
Yeah, we can save it for the next one. I always grew up with a dog. I actually only have owned 2 dogs, and when I was younger, we had a dog. It was a black lab named Magnum, and it lived for a very long time.
Like the condom?
Yeah. Yes. And like probably 7 years ago, my wife and I ended up getting a dog, and I can get more into that one because that dog is a pain in the butt, but I love that dog so much, and it's fun. Here's the thing: when you're younger, if any of you guys have been when you were younger and you had dogs growing up when you were younger, does it seem like you've had the dog for like decades and decades and decades when you're younger?
Yeah, like when you grew up with a dog, seems like it was always there. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
as
is-
the older I get, it seems like time. Well, it actually, does. The older you get, the more time seems to pass more quickly, and it's the same with dogs. Because it was, Sam, she was 14 when she died, and I'm like, it hasn't been. Has it been 14 years? And I was just sitting there like, the fuck. I mean, it just felt like I got her like a couple of months ago, really.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but well, you guys know how it is. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's get to the next question. Cause why not? Boop 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 boop. Hey. So why did you choose the dog you have? Because that's an interest that can go into a whole like different ways of doing it. Vincent. Or no, we'll go with Tyler.
Who, me?
Yeah, you
Uh,
man.
Well, I was trying to find a dog for a couple months, and I was starting to branch out, looking at different cities and towns, and all I could find was pit bulls and chihuahuas, and I didn't want those. But I rent an apartment, and there's a approved list that you can pick from. So yeah, after months of looking, I found a what kind of dog are you again? Jack Russell Terrier. And there's like
What are you?
Wow.
different dogs on their website, but I went with him just off instinct, and he has one ear that's always up and one that's always down. And I was like, man, that's adorable. That's my guy. I'm gonna get him.
Now I'll say this, Tyler. I've met your dog a couple times. I'm going to say this in the most polite possible way, and I know you're going to agree because I told my wife this yesterday. Your dog is a bastard.
Okay, to be fair, when I got him,
That's a trait of the breed.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
His
dude.
dog is adorable, but holy crap! Doesn't
he
matter
loves me
how
so
nice.
much. He's just so protective.
This dog, he's all like, the first time I was over, he's like, yeah, just give us some treats. I was like, okay, cool. No, that doesn't work. After a few treats, it's like, oh, you don't have any more treats? I'm just gonna start biting at your leg.
Yeah, no,
He is a bastard-coated bastard with bastard filling.
To be
Awesome.
fair,
Dude, it's
when I got
funny
him-
though. I don't care.
And
I think it's
bastard
hilarious.
frosting.
when I got him, he was like skin and bones, like really, really bad shape. So he was most likely abused. Also, I don't get a lot of visitors. So when Steve came over, my dog was like, who the fuck is this guy? So, yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. Vincent.
Well, I was looking around for dogs, and I had actually, it was a friend of a friend back when I was on Facebook, and they were getting ready to move, and they couldn't take their dog with them, and they were, posting some photos, on their profile, and there were these kids playing on the steps, and in the background you can see they had like steps that came down and then turned at an angle. They followed the wall, and right in the middle of the stairway there was this pug, and he was staring at the camera like, fuck you, fuck you, I fucking hate every goddamn one of you. And I looked at that dog and I said, that's the dog for me. So I got in touch with my friend and asked him to ask them if they had found a new home for him, and they said no. So I got in the car, and unfortunately for me, the day I decided to go pick the dog was the day of one of the biggest accidents on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, because I had to drive almost all the way to Harrisburg, and it took me 4.5 hours to get there. And
Worth it.
yeah,
Jeez.
I left at 5:30 in the afternoon, and I got there. It was after 9:00, and I was calling them. It's like, I'm coming to get the dog. I'm coming to get the dog. There's been a huge accident. And they're like, yeah, we know. We saw it on the news. Just let us know when you're nearby. And we met in a parking lot at a shopping mall. And we get out, shake hands, do the exchange, and they let him out of the car. and I had the car door open. He immediately flew out of their car and jumped into my car. After that, that was it. We were fucking inseparable.
There you go.
And on the way home, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, and he had 4 munchkins and half a cup of coffee. I love that dog.
See, now that's a man's dog right there.
Right.
Did he have like kind of like an Italian, like, hey, do you? I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna have some Dunkin' Donuts.
He had it was weird. I haven't posted any pictures of him, not lately, but he the left side of his face was really weird. I don't know. I think he had like a doggy stroke or something because the left side of his face drooped. And it just added to his charm, I think, because he was active and ran around and stuff like that. He didn't act like a stroke victim. I don't know if he smelled toast or not, but he was my buddy. Shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Andy.
So my wife always wanted a Pomeranians before we were married. And I was working, she was working overnights in one store, and I was working overnight in this other store in a different town. 24-hour store, and this woman comes in carrying this puppy, little, and I said, "Can I help you?" She said, "Well, I just came in to buy some flu medicine, but I found this little thing shivering outside." So I take the dog and I go and I buy her a leash and a collar and put her on there. I call the local police to see if they have an SPCA. And they say, "Well, no, but if we have an officer, we'll send somebody around." I said, "Okay." So I gave her some water. She drank up. Then I cleaned up the mess. Then I bought her some food and she ate that. And then she followed me around all night. And it got to be about 6 o'clock and I had to make my order. So I put her up in the bookkeeper's office with the people up there who just fell in love with her. It got to be 7 o'clock and I'm about to leave. And so I'm taking the dog with me. So I call Lisa's dad because they lived across the street from a feed store. So I said, "Hey, can you get me a bag of puppy food?" He said, "Yeah, man, no problem." So Lisa had already went home and went to bed. So I go home and I bring this puppy with me, and my grandmother looks at it like, "Who's this?" I said, "I think this is my new dog." "Oh, okay. What's her name?" I said, "I haven't decided yet." "Okay." So she's playing with my brother's dog, and they were having a great time. And she was only maybe 3 months old, if that. And so my wife gets up and she goes to work at her dad's restaurant, and she would relieve him like about 12:30 in the afternoon. She walks in the place. I haven't spoken to her. He says to her, "What kind of puppy food does he need?" She picks up the phone, the old rotary dial.
Oh, jeez.
"What did you do?" "Well, funny story." So I bring the puppy down, and everybody falls in love with her. She was just amazing. She was like, the vet said that if she was not purebred golden retriever, be amazed. Everybody fell in love with her, and she says to me, "What are you going to name her?" I said, "I don't know. I've been thinking about this, and I just can't come up with anything." She says, "I think you should name her Harley." I said, "Yeah, that's a great idea." She said, "Good, that's the closest you're going to get to one."
Oh, jeez.
Big oof.
We had an agreement that, like, we would have, like, I don't get a motorcycle until after the kids are grown, and, like, because too many people around here that just get killed on bikes. So anyway, so we've got Harley, and then we get married. The kids come along. Harley was our baby. This dog was amazing. She was so spoiled. Everybody knows what it's like when that's your first kid, right? And she had this one of those little tubs that you put the little quarter kegs in, and it was filled with dog toys. This dog would go over and pull all the toys out of the bin till she found the one that she wanted that day. Then she would put all the other ones back.
Holy shit. Frank
Wait,
did the same
no.
goddamn thing. I have a video of it.
My dog
Yeah,
can't
I need
do
to
that
post
to
it on
save.
Twitter.
My
Yeah.
dog can't do that to save her life.
This dog was so obedient. One time I would walk her without a leash. She took off after a rabbit one time. I clapped my hands and she came right back and stood next to me, did not move. I could sit there with a cheesesteak. I could leave it on the coffee table and walk away from it. She would not touch it. And then so Parley was about like 7 years old or so. And one day my wife comes in, she says, do we know anybody that wants a golden retriever puppy? I said, yeah, us. She's like, are you serious? Like, yeah. Like, Harley's getting older. She needs somebody to play with besides the kids. And like, fine. So a friend of hers, they had lost their dog. So they went and bought a golden retriever puppy, purebred golden retriever. And they found out it was a lot more work than they had time for. So we go and get Butterscotch, and who was named after Butterscotch Schnapps. So we get her, and she's the most chill dog I've ever seen. She's just kind of like runs around and plays, but like, she would sit there. My daughter would dress her up. She would put like, little antennas and fairy wings on her and stuff. And the dog would just sit there. And so we lost Harley, and then Butterscotch was getting older, and we're like, so a friend of mine sends me a picture of this dog at this animal orphanage. It's a yellow lab. And Lisa was complaining about, all the long hair. It's everywhere. So I'm like, well, somebody said, well, why don't you just get a yellow lab? It's pretty much the same dog as a golden retriever. Lies, nothing alike.
They
so
just wanted it gone.
They're so stupid.
You know what? Goldie was brilliant. She stole
Maybe it's just black labs or chocolate labs then, but holy shit.
She took the mostly empty jar of peanut butter out of the trash can, a big one, held her paws on it like this, and unscrewed the lid to get inside of it. She was really smart. She she stole everything. She stole one time she ate 2 full dishes, plates of brownies, 9x13. She ate all of it, didn't get sick. One time she got into the Easter candy my wife had stashed for the Easter baskets. She would steal rolls. She stole, her favorite thing were apples and cabbage hearts. She would they were her favorite. She would eat watermelon. She would eat oranges. She stole my pineapple one time. She got into it. She decided she didn't like it pretty quick. One time we were, my brother, he was sick with cancer. He just started his chemotherapy, and we were all headed to, me and my family were headed to Busch Gardens in Virginia. So my brother calls me up and he said, listen, I don't want to put you on the spot and feel free to say no, but yes. It's like, you didn't even yes, he can come with us. So we took my nephew with us. And so my brother was fanatical about eating healthy and stuff like that. So they bring Eddie over with 2 big paper shopping bags filled of the most nutritionally proper, organically grown stuff out there. And so we got these 2 big shopping bags, and we're like, well, what are we going to do with them? Like, we'll just put them up on the table and surround it there, and it should be fine. Well, got up in the morning, and it was a mess. She ate 14 Cliff Bars. She ate the cream of wheat. She ripped that open. She had a smorgasbord, and it was everywhere. Like, Lisa's vacuuming things up and stuff like that. So I go upstairs, and I walk in. My nephew's in there with my son in his room. I said, Ed, do you want the good news or the bad news? He said, well, give me the good news. We're going to Virginia to go to Kingston, or going to Busch Gardens. All right, what's the bad news? The dog ate all your supplies. He said, good, I didn't like that stuff anyway.
Nice.
So we had, that was Goldie. And last year we lost her. Now, she was Aaron's dog. She would sleep with her. She would hang out with her. She was like, whenever Aaron was having a bad day, and she was, from the time she was, a little girl till, 21 years old. So from 10 years old on, this dog was glued to her. She was her favorite. She would sleep with her every night. And she started not eating and things like this. We switched to a raw diet, and she did really good with that. We couldn't get any other dogs with her. she didn't like other dogs. She didn't get along with pretty much anybody except for my in-laws' dog. She got along with really well. And so we she wasn't doing too well, and I took her over to the vet, and I didn't trust what they were doing, so I took her to the University of Pennsylvania Veterinary Hospital because they've done a magnificent job with my other dogs when they were getting in bad shape. And so my daughter's there, and they said, well, it's probably cancer, but we can't really be sure. So I paid the extra $1,200 just to put my little girl's mind at ease. It was cancer, and like it was going to be inoperable. It was on her, probably on her stomach, and so we had to put her down. And it was, I don't know what was harder, putting my dog down or watching my daughter's heart break. Oh man. So we got home, and I'm home. Like, I teach, my studio's attached to the house, so I'm home all the time. Kids are at school and work and stuff like that, and she's in college, and so I come in and the house is so empty. It was so like the soul of the house was gone without the dog there. And I would walk upstairs to my studio, and I would see the empty love seat where she used to lay. And like, I need another dog. And so we're looking around, and like we see this little lab mix over at the animal orphanage where we go to. And Aaron says to me, you want to go check her out? And I said, no, because if I do, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to come home with her, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. She says, well, listen, since nothing's replacing Goldie with me, why don't I go check her out, because I'll probably be a little bit more objective. I said, it's a good idea. So I know this is a long story, but it's layered and complicated. Yeah. So she goes over to see this little dog, Jazzy. Jazzy's out for a walk. She looks over and she sees this half bulldog and half pit bull named Beef Wellington. And she looks at him, and he goes, "Roof." And she goes, "Well, hello." And he goes, "Roof." So she keeps talking about Beef Wellington. And so finally, and it's wearing on Lisa, because she was like, yeah, we don't go on vacation because we have to worry about the dog. Do we really want another dog? All this. So finally, she's all right, let's go see this Beef Wellington. So we go over there, and there's Beef Wellington's kennel with his papers. He's been adopted. He's just waiting to go home tomorrow. So we start looking around, and we're looking out, and I was looking at some of the older dogs that probably wouldn't get a home. And there was this, I really couldn't hear very much or interact with him, because there was this other dog who was freaking out, scaring all the other dogs and stuff like that. So we're about to leave. The girl says, well, there's some more down this little line here. So we go down there, and I always felt that I've had no luck in my life whatsoever, except with animals. I had a great cat growing up. I had a great horse, and I did great with dogs that God put in my way. So we go down to the end of this line of kennels, and there's this dog sitting there, and on his paperwork is his name, Chooch. Now, Vincent will tell you about the commonality of Chooch in this area. It's like, when you're growing up here, you don't get called Jackass, you get called Chooch.
Yep.
So I'm like, look at this. This is a sign from God. Okay. So, and right next to him is this little lab named Dandelion. So he's like 3 years old, and she's 6 months old. So we go and tell the girl we want to see these two. So she comes out, and she brings him out. He comes right up to me, puts his paws on my chest, wraps his arms around me, and puts his head on my chest. I'm like, you're not playing fair. And he does the same thing to my son. Then Aaron walks by. He starts licking Aaron. He gets down. He walks over to Lisa, and she scratches his head, and he licks her, and he comes back over to me. So we send him back in, and we get the little one, and she runs right over to Glenn and jumps in his lap. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we're interested in these two. All right, well, fill out the application and all this, and you can go and it's Friday. They usually get through them on Monday. So we're driving home. I have Aaron do the application online, and so the next morning I get a phone call from, yeah, we just went over your application. When do you want to pick up the dog? I'm like, well, I'm on my way down to volunteer at the fairgrounds. Is there anybody there tomorrow? Yeah, we'll be here from 12 to 5. Like, what time can you get here? I'm like, okay, well, can I get both? He says, well, it's our policy. You can only get one at a time. So, okay, give me the older one. I'll take Chooch. So me and Glenn go down. Aaron's away doing a gymnastics thing. And so we go to pick him up. And she's doing the paperwork. And she says, wow, it says here is, I don't know where Chooch came from. It says here in his paperwork is a initial induction. It's like it's Jack. So say Jack, and he looks up. And so it's like, okay. So we get him. He jumps in the truck. He's sitting there. He's got his head in between us. He's like looking around. He's all over the place. And he'd been abused. When they first got him, he came from Tennessee. When they first got him, he was 38 pounds. And when we took him, he was 55 pounds. So he was severely malnourished. And he's so skittish. He's very like, whenever you would he would just cower and flinch and everything and just melt into the ground. And so bring him in, and he's sniffing everything, checking things out. He had 2 little accidents in the living room, and that was it. Never again. He was good to go. Got one bad habit. He will jump the fence to go play with dogs that walk by, which scares the shit out of their owners, especially when it's a little old lady with a Yorkie. But he's, and now, so they're arguing. It says on his paperwork, Shepherd mix. Like, okay. So my daughter and her grandfather are arguing over what we think Jack is. And so Erin comes home the next day. She's away. We don't tell her that we got the dog. So she comes in. I'm all set to have her come in through the back door with camera and everything like that. She goes to the front door. She never goes to the front door. So I gotta hurry up and get back. When she opens up the front door, she's like, well, hello. And she's like, she's welling up like, like, she's like, how are you? And I said, Erin, that's not Chooch. It's not. Like, no, that's Jack. Well, who's Jack? Jack's original name was Jack. Chooch was his original name was Jack. So now we're just calling him Jack. Oh, hello, Jack. And he was like, so now he's getting used to everybody. And my wife has to be up at like 4:30 in the morning. So to go to work, she goes to bed at 8:30. So I get done my class at 9 o'clock. She's told we could go up there to get my gym clothes so I can go to the gym. The dog's laying in my bed with her. And I said, what's this? Like, the dogs have never been allowed in bed. She said, you leave my son alone. I'm like, okay, then. So the argument between my daughter and her grandfather over what kind of breed Jack is. So they decide, they take up a pool and they all chip in to get his DNA done. He is 13 different breeds. He's 20% husky, 16% pit bull, 7% chow, boxer, Cataluna leopard dog, American shepherd, Australian shepherd, and German shepherd, red boon coonhound, and some kind of treeing coonhound. Like, he's like okay. And boxer too. He's like, so he's just like, he's a mutt, and he's like, this dog is like, he is spoiled as hell, and you take him out places and they offer, how they offer your dog a cookie. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, thank you. He won't eat normal dog food. He's got like, and he's a snob. He's like, for a malnourished snob dog, he's a snob. He's like, he wants something special. He's got to have like, so he gets, high quality kibble, and he gets like, he'll get some like a raw diet along with it. So like that, he's like, but he'll let that food sit there until 10 o'clock at night before he eats it. Just like, and then so he'll sleep on the floor next to my side of the bed till my wife leaves for work, and he jumps up in bed with me, and that's Jack. So sorry to hog up, but that's the long
Oh,
story. All my dogs about how and why I picked. I didn't pick any of them except for maybe like the golden retriever and well, we'll try the yellow lab, but they all kind of found me. So that's the way it's been.
So this is a very prime example, perfect example of when guys like, when like, I don't know this because I don't have kids yet, but when the wife is like, "Oh, let me look at the baby pictures," and it's like a long story. This right here, when you talk about when a guy has a dog, he will go into more details of anything. I have more details about when I got my dog with my wife than I do almost about when I first met my wife. But I'll go into that story soon. But Snowdub, how you doing?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I
It's
got a
all
little
good,
bit of
man.
a rant going on my show and lost track of time, but I did
It's
try to
all
send my
good.
audience over here. So
Well, thank you
hopefully a
very
few peeps
much.
came in and subscribed, and
Yeah.
make sure to subscribe to Rancorsteve's Rumble as well, because I know you go on there a little more often than you do YouTube. But it's good to see you on the tube side once in a while,
Yeah,
even if
same
it's
here.
only playing with Legos. But
Hey, man. I got to play with myself somehow.
I do it every night.
Hey. So tonight we're talking about dogs and your man best friend. The question that we have, and I'm gonna ask you this, is why did you choose the dog you have? It turns out that it's not that we choose the dogs; it's the dog chooses us. So that's a
Yes.
good, yeah. So how? Yeah, there's a way to do that question.
Well, for me personally, grew up with dogs. Family always had dogs around, many different kinds of dogs, from your regular mutt to your golden retrievers. We had pugs for a while. We've had corgis and just a bunch of mixed breeds. So you name it. And
Mhm.
throughout the years, we even had for a short while we had a Great Dane, and that definitely left an impression on me as a kid. Having such a big dog like that. I was only about 8 years old, so I was able to ride that dog like a horse. Literally get on its back and ride around the yard, if you could only imagine. But I guess, and I don't remember, but I have pictures. But I guess I grew up with a Doberman, and I don't remember the Doberman, but it was around when I was very young, and not quite sure what happened to it. Never to get the full story, but I guess subconsciously, as I got older in life and was ready to have my own dog, that was naturally what I wanted to get. I don't know if it was from my childhood subconsciously, or if I just loved the look and the prowess of that breed. They're also World War II veterans. They got a statue over in Guam for all the dogs that fell fighting against the Japanese.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're called devil dogs to the Marines, and they're definitely close to the Marines' hearts, especially from the World War II veterans, the few that are left. But anyway, so I started out with Dobermans, and I bought one from a breeder named Kruger, and another one I adopted named Voorhees, and of course I named them both over favorite movie characters. And you'll notice a pattern with that. And had
Yeah.
them for a few years, and I bred those two to sisters. And I had Kruger had a girl, and we named her Ripley. And Voorhees had a boy. We named him Bishop. So Bishop and Ripley. You might be catching the pattern here
Yes.
if you know your movies. So Bishop and Ripley were the next two. Now, fortunately, Dobermans don't live a long life. They're big dogs. So if you're lucky, you get 10. If you're really lucky, you get 13, 14. But nothing more than that. And then sometimes you lose them young. So Voorhees, I lost at a pretty young age from cancer. He was only probably about 7, maybe 8 at the most. I didn't know his full age because he was an adoption. He was from a kind of a broken home. So he was a little demure, a little edgy at first, but he ended up turning into a great dog. But so I bred him, had Bishop, and Bishop knew his dad for a little bit. And then, of course, Ripley was around her dad for quite a while. And then Kruger passed away at 9 from a stomach flip, unfortunately. And not my favorite to put down. Definitely, it was probably one of, if not the hardest, because he was my first and he was kind of my baby. Then I had Bishop and Ripley they both lived great long lives. Bishop and my son were best friends, grew up together. Bishop was on my album cover when I did my CD. Bishop lived to almost 13 years old, and he was an awesome dog. And Ripley also lived to about 12. Now I had Ripley fixed because they were cousins. Their moms were sisters. So I never bred Ripley. So the Kruger bloodline was gone then. But I still had the Voorhees bloodline. And I bred Bishop. And so Bishop had 10 puppies. And I picked the biggest, baddest one out of the bunch. And his name was Crowley. And my sister ended up getting his brother, the only red male out of the bunch, and his name was Fred. And anyway, long story short, I just lost Crowley a couple weeks ago from stomach cancer. He was only 6, cancer of the spleen. He got into his blood vessels, so it was pretty much terminal. I mean, even if we would have caught it in time, he would have had to go through chemo and all kinds of hell and probably wouldn't have made it anyway. But long story short, my sister still has Fred. I'm going to try to see if I can get the bloodline back. And it's kind of a sad tale when you lose one that young, because he was only 6. But at the same time, I am very fortunate that I've had 3 or more generations of these beautiful dogs, and they have made my life so much better in so many ways that I can end up taking up the rest of your show. So, but I'll just leave it at that.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Ordy.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Hi.
I'm doing good. You. Ooh. So why did you choose the dog you have or had or
Again, this is another story of I don't think I really chose her. In that, okay, so cast back to between Thanksgiving and Christmas 2011. I lost my dad and my dog within 2 weeks of each other, both suddenly and unexpectedly. Both of them, it was the dog I had lost was a Brittany Spaniel.
Ooh.
And so a couple months go by, and I heard a neighbor couple of mine, they had passed away within a month of each other. They were both elderly. And I was walking down the street and I saw their daughter and I was paying my condolences. And through the window, I had seen their dog, and their dog was about 6 at the time, the elderly couple. And I had, kind of was vaguely familiar with her. I'd give her treats when I was walking down the street and stuff. And she's pawing at the window, comes running out the door, jumps over the small fence, and just starts jumping up and down on my leg because she knows I give her treats. So I give her a treat, and I'm talking to the daughter, and the daughter says, yeah, it's really sad. I can't take Trina with me because I'm not allowed to have pets in my apartment. And we're just talking, and it didn't even cross my mind to ask or say anything. And Trina is still absolutely pawing at me. So I pick her up, and I'm talking to the daughter, holding Trina, and then I started walking home like it was the most natural thing to do. I went, oh, crap. And I set the dog down. She's all, would you like to have her? She knew I had just lost my dog recently, and I said, absolutely. And that was that. And I had her she was about 6. I had her for 12 years after that. We just had to put her down from old age last June.
Oh,
Wow.
So it was just one of those fate things that, just a collection of tragedies brought us together.
yeah. It's amazing what dogs can do. It is. It's for me. I grew up with a black lab. We had to put it down because of arthritis, and I didn't have a dog pretty much since then. It was just one of those things where we just didn't. My mom always had a cat, and I ended up being allergic. And I've always liked pets. I grew up with horses. grew up with all types of animals, and when it was almost close to the first year anniversary of when I got married 8 years ago, and then it would have been 7 years. My wife was like, "What if we got a dog?" Because she grew up with a dog. She grew up with a German Shepherd that they recently put down, and just from old age, and their dog was old. Like that sucker was lovable, blind, old, but I was like, okay, why not? And we ended up. It wasn't necessarily for me, the dog choosing me, but it was more of okay, let's find a dog. And sure enough, in LA, there was a husky that was breeding, and of 9 puppies, and there was 9 dogs that we can pick from. And for some reason, I was like, that one. And I think it was the youngest one, and it was always kind of like the last one picked kind of dog. And turns out it was a husky poodle. My wife's friend drives the dog to us, hangs out with us for a few days, and this dog is the most. Tyler could vouch for it. My dog loves Tyler now, like just adores Tyler. It's my dog hates being sniffed by other dogs, but will pay attention to any other human on the face of the planet. It doesn't bark. It's like the perfect dog you could get in the sense of doesn't bark. It's always quiet. Loves road trips and everything. Will sleep. Very patient. But the thing that my dog does to me is if I take her to the bathroom and then I bring her in, she'll fake going to the bathroom. Is what she does. She'll do that, and it drives me up a wall because she'll come to me, only me, to do this, and I'm like, why? And it's amazing what this dog is. I can just sit down, just chill, and then she'll sit next to me and just chill, and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like I'm just relaxing, and it's one of those things where she's now 7 years old that it's gonna hit me one day, and I'm like, dang. And I've always wanted more dogs, and we're thinking about getting another one. I want to get a pit bull, a little short, little just jacked out of its mind. I want to get 2 pit bulls and name it Rocky and Adrian, just because I think it'd be kind of cool. Just these big old dogs, lovable dogs. It's just like growing up, I was like, I want to get a dog. I want to get a dog, and actually now getting one, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it very much. And then we'll go to this question here.
Oh, real quick, you had asked what
Yeah.
breed my she was
Yeah.
a Silky Terrier.
Okay. Here's the other thing. I have a question for you guys. Do you get people mistaking the gender of your dogs
all the time.
all the
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
My favorite is I was at a dog park with our dog, and she's kind of scared of bigger dogs because we had a terrier kind of be dominant, and she's all like, I don't like big dogs, but she loves smaller dogs, and everyone's like, oh, he's such an adorable dog. I was like, yeah, she is. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I misgendered your dog.
Yesterday, I
like-
don't know if you noticed.
I was like, yo, no, we did. We played it off. We're so used to it. Yeah, Tyler's like, yeah, he's such a lovable dog. A lovable dog. My wife's like, yeah, she's pretty. She likes to hang out with the people.
Whoops.
I can see on your face, you're like, oh man, I just did a liberal thing. Dang it. Oh. Good times. Here, let's do this one. So, best thing about having a dog. So, in this, we always the dog usually ends up picking us. Usually, that's how it works, and we get attached pretty well with the dogs. But in that, what is we'll go with Ordy. What is the best thing about having a dog? Being a man.
being a man is the best thing about having a dog is you always have a buddy. You can take them with you wherever you want. They're chill at home if you can't take them with you. They'll sit down and watch TV with you. They'll hang with you. But on a more not man answer, that is the pure definition of unrequited love.
Mm-hmm.
They are so fiercely loyal for very little input, very little effort. And the more effort you put into them, the more loyal they are. And it absolutely breaks your heart when you lose one. And it's I know dogs that care more about their owners than their own parents did.
Yeah.
And that's just, and everybody says, a mother's love is unrequited. No, a dog's love is unrequited. So that's it. That's the best reason to have a dog.
All right. Snow Dub.
Yeah, definitely. I concur on that one. That's unconditional love. And for a man, there's just something about there's something primal there with men. I think it was back at our first fires that we built, and when we were cooking our mammoth steaks, and up walked a wolf that was real fucking hungry, but he was all by himself, and we threw him that chunk of meat because we saw the look in his eye. And I think that connection from that point forward, where the dog knew that, hey, this is somebody I could hang out with, that's gonna hook me up once in a while. And then as the man knew, hey, this is somebody that can watch my back, when I'm taking a nap, and it's got better hearing and better smelling than me, and can be very beneficial. So there's what does he call it? The tranquility, or there's a certain word for it. It's like a intimate bond between you and the animal that a man has with his dog that goes back so many generations. You feel it in your bones, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this connection, and that I think is the best thing about, like I said, being a man and owning a dog, because you get to experience that.
Yeah. One day I hope to actually get a dog if I go hunting, and will just be by my side. Like, yeah, let's go get some ducks. Okay. Andy.
A lot of it's been covered.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the best things that, like, just sitting there, and when your dog comes up and just lays next to you, and like Jack's always been afraid of most men. He's better with women, and he's getting a lot better now. But he was always very skittish and timid. And when we first got him, he was terrified of, like, he would, with Lisa and Aaron will sit on the couch, and he'll lay across the front of it, like making a barrier between them and anything else going at them. And so Aaron, like, she puts her foot down, he would jump, like he was afraid of feet, like he'd been kicked. And he would also, like, would lay on he pretty much owns the love seat, and he'll lay across that, which Goldie owned the love seat too. But if you would get your head near him, he would, like, freak out and stiffen up. And over the last year that we've had him, this morning he jumps up in bed with me. He climbs up and scoots up right next to me like this and just lays there. And I'm on there, and I'll lay my head across him. He doesn't flinch at all. He doesn't jump at feet anymore. He's like, and so to know, like, where he came from, and the state that he was in, to where he is now, where he's got complete trust. He's rehabbed. He's like, he knows he's safe. He's loved, and he trusts everybody. To get that miracle to happen, to get that magic to happen, is, and you get such a bond, such a pure, unadulterated love from these animals that all they want to do is be with you and make you happy. This dog, he knows when I'm going to go anywhere. If I go over and I pick up like a $20 bill, he sees it, he runs to the back door. If I go upstairs, get a pair of shorts on and come down, he's at the back door. He knows like what cues or what, like, and what's going to happen when he leaves. And he's like, and he just sits there. He doesn't rush the door. He just sits there waiting to be told. I'll take him out back and the gate will open. He will not cross that gate until I tell him to. And he may jump the fence, but he won't cross the gate. So he goes out there and I tell him, and he runs to my truck and he jumps in my truck. And whenever I get out of the truck, I leave anybody in there, like he gets in my seat and sits there like he's driving. And you watch all these little idiosyncrasies, and it's like what that dog is saying is that you're his favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're his favorite thing, and all he wants is to hang out with you and be your buddy and like be loved and get scratched and like maybe get a treat every once in a while. But there's nothing like it when you've had a rough day and you come home and that dog knows what kind of mood you're in, knows exactly what you need, comes over and puts his head down on you and just hangs out with you. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to do anything. Just sit there and be together. And that's enough for the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's very few things that you can say that about in life. You know, as a man, you've always got demands on you. You've always got things that are pulling at your for something. The dog doesn't say anything, doesn't do it, just sits down and lays next to you, and that's enough for the dog.
Yeah.
What it could be better than that?
It's my wife asked me the other, like probably a few months ago. She's like, what do men do? I was like, well, what do you mean? What do men do? And she said, well, like in conversations and groups, like, what do you do? I was like, sometimes we just sit and be quiet. And she's like, she's trying to comprehend that. And she's like, she said, well, what's that like? And right next to me is my dog just chilling, quiet. I was like, it's just like this. And I said, just sit there at the table and just watch. And she saw the whole interaction and she said, okay, like that seems pretty stressful, but peaceful at the same time. And I was like, I can just sit here. My dog can just lay next to me. And that's it. Like, you are right, Andy. Like, the moment you get in, like, your dog will understand, like, what your personality. And with me, I can just sit down after a long day of work, tired, exhausted, sore, whatever the situation is, and my dog can just hop up on the couch and just chill with me. And for some reason, like, she likes to actually put her body against my leg or on my side. And from then on, I'm just more at peace because it's like, okay, I get it. And I'll pet my dog and she's all like, yay. And then she'll want to be like, throw me a toy for the next 3 hours. I have your attention now, sucker.
Yeah, your dog's very high energy.
Oh, jeez. So my dog is a husky poodle. Here's the problem. Her dad was a poodle and her mom's a husky. You all try to figure that one out because I've yet to figure that was crazy. But my dog is very hyper attention. Also, when we got her, we ended up going to Hawaii for our 1 year anniversary. So we were gone for 10 days. My dog has major separation anxiety. Like, my dog gets more excited when she sees my wife. And she doesn't get excited when she sees me. Because what's weird is my wife, I never grew up with a puppy. We got her when she was like maybe like a month old. Naughty, like maybe 2 months old. And I didn't know how to handle it. I was like, well, this is a small dog. If I discipline it, I could hurt it. I don't know. So I was taught pretty much because I was new. I was like, I've only grown up with adult dogs. And so our dog looks at my wife as more of like the dominant one just because she knew how to handle puppies. Now I know how to handle puppies. But as my dog gets older, My dog will come to me, sit between my legs when I'm sleeping. She's more attached to me in a more of like, I look to you as someone who will protect me. And I cannot get that from, like, it's just the dogs instantly know that. Anyways, Tyler. Oh, wait, did we do Tyler?
No.
Okay, Tyler.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. I forgot.
It was crap. I just lost everything. Hold on.
The best part about having a dog, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, everything, man. Like, since my wife moved out, my dog is all I have, and really, it's starting to feel like he's all I need, man. Like, I take him everywhere. If I just need to go to the bank real quick, he gets to go with me. If I'm just going for a drive, I have to go get groceries. Like, he comes with me everywhere. And it breaks my heart every day when I'm getting ready for work, because he knows if I'm putting on basketball shorts, that means I'm just going to hang out, at the house, versus if I put on my work pants, and he just lets out this deep sigh every morning, like, oh, it means you're going to be leaving. And dude, I'm a really heavy sleeper too. So it's like, he's a little guy. He's only 20 pounds, but for protection, because when I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. I'll sleep through a freaking earthquake, whatever. So it's good to have a dog that can let you know, like, hey, you need to wake the fuck up. But I don't know, man, just the whole unconditional love. Like, we'll just like you guys are talking about, we'll just hang out. Sometimes they'll get on the floor and just give them pets and loving, and that's it. That's my night.
Yeah.
With my dog. So best part about having a dog, fucking everything, dude. He's a really big part of my life, actually.
Yeah. Vincent.
Women leave you, friends betray you, but your dog will always be your dog.
Yep.
And that's it.
There you go. That's wise. Yes. So we have a new segment for the show, and I like the conversation so much. I was like, I can't skip out on this.
You could have, bro.
I could have, but guess what? I'm not going to skip out on this one. Guess what, Buttercup? It's a new segment we started last week, and I like it so much. Here it is, people. All right, Vincent.
The subject today was dogs. There aren't many serious quotations about dogs in Shakespeare. He mentions them in passing. Everybody's familiar with the Dogs of War part of Mark Antony's speech in Julius Caesar, but
It's better than the original Klingon.
Yes, this is true. No, that's Hamlet you're thinking of.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Hamlet, Prince of Kronos. That's an actual book. Somebody translated the entire play into Klingon, and it's fucking awesome. But one of Shakespeare's least known, I'm not going to say least popular, but least known plays is called Timon of Athens. And to break it down very quickly, Timon is the wealthiest guy in Athens, back, in the days of the Greeks. And he's got a shitload of friends. He always gives gifts to people. He has huge feasts weekly, and half the city shows up to these things. And he gets into a big argument with the one person that he can actually call his true friend, and he ignores the argument that he has with him. And eventually, Timon runs out of money, and none of the other people he knows will help him, because they were all using him for his money. So basically what he does is he runs away to a cave, and he ends up cursing humanity. But when he gets to that cave, he finds a shitload of gold. And he takes that gold and he gives it to somebody and plans to destroy the city. But unfortunately, before it happens, he dies. So yeah, it kind of it's kind of a down ending because you really want him to be vindicated because he was a good guy. He just got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And right when he finds the gold, his one true friend finds him in the cave, and they start getting into an argument. He finds out that Timon found gold, and basically what he says to him is, what we've been talking about, dogs. And he says, "A beast as thou art, the canker gnaw thy heart for showing me again the eyes of man. I am misanthropos and hate mankind. For thy part, I do wish thou wert a dog, that I might love thee something."
Ooh,
And there you go.
that's great. Well, that is Shakespeare with Vincent.
Feel free to ignore it and not follow me on Twitter.
No, we will. Now you're gonna have to do Shakespeare all the time. Now it's. I wanted to do something a little bit different with the show, and Vincent knows a lot about Shakespeare, and I like Shakespeare. One of these days, he's going to do like Romeo and Juliet.
No,
not even-
that is the worst fucking play.
It
And
is.
I have told thousands of people, and I will continue to tell everybody. Romeo and Juliet is not a romance. It's a story about a weekend fuckfest between a 13-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy that ends up in 6 deaths. Sincerely, somebody who actually read the fucking play.
So, as Vincent is on a rampant rage of
No, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good.
You know what? I think
Now, do you how there are no actual good guys in Julius Caesar?
You're wrong. The only person you can consider a good guy, or at least mostly good, is Brutus.
Okay.
Because what Brutus did was out of a genuine love of Rome and his country. Cassius took advantage of that and made him do what he did. Everybody else was just, they were in it for themselves. What they would get, the power that they would get once Caesar was dead. But Brutus genuinely thought that Caesar, was going to be a dictator, was going to make himself king. And his ancestor was pivotal in getting rid of the last king a few hundred years before the play takes place. But yeah, he was taken advantage of as well. But hey.
See, guys, men know Shakespeare. Maybe not me, but maybe some. I don't know.
Not Steve, but men.
Yeah, me. Hey.
And by implication, Steve is not a man.
Now hold up there, Twinkle Toes. Says the guy who put any random thing into a sandwich and call it a dinner.
Hey,
no.
What's wrong with that?
Tyler, I don't think you've seen Vincent's food selection. It's an interest. It's acquired taste.
Well, give me an example.
Yeah, Vincent, what's an example of one of your? Which isn't bad. It's not. I like the dog.
I do the same thing with burritos, dude. A spaghetti burrito, fucks, man. A spaghetti burrito is super good. So I can't hate on somebody doing the same thing with sandwiches.
Chef Boyardee just wept into his beer.
A spaghetti burrito.
Better than you think.
Yeah, dude. I post a picture of sardine toast for breakfast in the morning, and everybody and their mother's like, "Oh my god, oh yeah, you motherfuckers eat avocados on toast, and you're gonna lecture me about fucking sardines."
Hold up, I don't eat avocados because I think avocados are terrible.
Oh, I don't mean I'm generalizing. I mean, like the people who follow me on Twitter, they're like.
I think the only thing that would have improved that, because I remember that tweet. I think I made a comment about but actually smoked oysters.
Yes, those would I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do that in a minute.
See, I got to be completely drunk to do that.
It's better than beans, and then the British think that it's the greatest fucking thing ever, just putting beans on toast.
Like, oh, beans on toast.
Yeah, what is there with that one?
Egg and chips. No, egg and chips is actually good. Just take a big pile of fries and put 3 fried eggs on top of it. That's actually good. But beans on toast? No.
Well, anyways, we're gonna get to another cool segment. Don't worry, Vincent, you're done doing your Shakespeare. It's okay. I did it only because I was like, you know what? He likes Shakespeare. I wanted to give him a chance. And I know Shakespeare always has something that can tie into a topic with masculinity. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So it's to spice it up. You never know. You never know. But here we go with, the favorite segment at the end of the show. And it did
Alas,
not
poor
play.
Stephen. I knew him well. A man of infinite jive. A man of infinite jest. Where are your jives now?
Oh, gosh.
Your flashes of merriment that would set the table on a roar. Yeah.
So Snowdub, we changed up tip of the hat from the last time you've been here, and this is more of it will let you go near the end so you get an idea. But here we like to give a shout out to people who are personal to us. And Orville's just said, just a tip, Steve. Yes. Oh man, I like how there's a whip at the end of just the. I just said just a tip.
Giggity.
Anyways, oh man, I like laughing. If you don't know how to laugh, we should train you on that one. But anyways, so tip of the hat is now changed to people who have inspired us personally. So everyone on the panel, we don't know who we're gonna pick, and it's kind of it makes it a little bit more personal. Vincent, is there anyone that you want to give a tip of the hat to?
I want to give a tip of the hat to the late, the great Pope Julius II. He was called the War Pope, and for very good fucking reason. When shit went sideways, he was out in front with the troops in brilliantly plated armor, swinging a sword, just killing motherfuckers because God told him to. And yeah, it's awesome.
There you go.
I'm down with that.
Hey, I have no problem with that. Ordy.
Oh, you know what? Get back to me on that.
Okay.
Pass.
Andy.
Pass.
Pass. This is not kindergarten, guys. Tyler.
Oh, it's on me.
No, it's the other Tyler.
Dude, this is gonna be a weird one, but
Uh-oh.
my boss actually. I know. Just bear
God
with
damn
me.
it! You took my answer.
Oh, really? you can do your boss too. So I've mentioned this before in previous episodes. I went through a divorce recently, and it's like I was kind of venting to Steve about this yesterday. Thank you for that, for letting me vent.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, it's been a motherfucker, dude. Like I just go through waves of melancholy, anger, sadness, just all the negative emotions. My boss understands without having gone through a divorce himself, but he's been extremely patient with me because when I get angry, I'm fucking angry, dude. And that's happened at work a couple times. And I had every reason to get fired more than once. Just, the littlest thing just fucking set me off. And because I'm dealing with like a bunch of other shit, I wasn't as patient and calm as I normally would have been. And my boss has just like pulled me into his office and just let me vent. Like, so what's really going on, man? Like, why'd you behave like that? So he had more than a reason, to let me go more than once, and he didn't. Not only that, but he was like, listen, I really think it would be in your best interest to start doing jujitsu. You have all this anger and emotion going through you. You need to channel it. And he was completely fucking right, dude. Like, jujitsu has been a godsend. He's been pushing me to get back in the water and surf, and I actually just bought a new surfboard a couple weeks ago. Dude, Steve, you met that guy when we went to the shooting range.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because we're like similar in age, and we have a lot of similar hobbies. So my brain thinks, "Oh, friend," but no, it's like, dude, that's your boss, man. That's not your buddy. But he's been extremely patient with me, and for that, I tip my hat to him.
Cool. Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna break with precedent with because I'm going to keep on topic with the dog thing. My brother Mark was he was pivotal with starting off a big trend with us. With my brother Ed got the first dog, but he really didn't do a whole lot with Seamus. He was like we really didn't understand how to treat a dog and how to raise up a dog. And then my brother Mark got he moved out and was working on his house that him and his wife were moving into, and he got 2 dogs. He got one. They were actually same parents or same mother, but the big one was half Great Dane and half Rottweiler and Boxer, and the other and his smaller dog was she was half Rottweiler and Boxer, and so he did such a good job raising these dogs and seeing how much fun and camaraderie that he would have with them. So when I got the opportunity to get my own dog, it was like, well, wow, yeah, I want that. It was kind of like plopped in my lap. So it was a great experience to have somebody in your life that it seemed kind of like, why do you need somebody how to show you how to have a dog and how the dog should be like part of the family and not like stuck outside and separated. And so that really was a profound moment. And if you're ever in question about like getting a pet or especially a dog, look at someone who treats their animals really well and what they get out of it. And then you'll understand. And then you'll understand why you have to treat them like you should, because they are your family. They are looking at you like, hey, it's a pack and we're all together in this thing. And that was really, really important for me. And it had a profound effect. So cheers to my brother Mark, who really set a good example on being a good dog parent.
There you go. Ordy.
I've been struggling with this one. I didn't know if it would be too obscure, but I think it's okay for this crowd. Tip of the hat to dog meat in the Fallout series.
Yes.
The dog in it.
Yes.
And based on blood from a boy and his dog. It was actually referenced in the Fallout TV show when Walter Goggins' character played a man and his dog. So that was a little Easter egg in there. And just probably the best known entertainment dog that isn't like Benji or Lassie or anything like that. For a certain generation, dog meat was the dog everybody wanted to have. So I'm going with that.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Whenever I play 4, it's always dog meat that sticks with you the whole run.
Yeah.
Because everybody else sucks.
Pretty much. It's also the best. It's also the best companion you can have in Fallout 1 and 2. Also, so
yeah.
So.
Snowdub, is there anyone that has played an important role in your life that you want to do a tip of the hat to?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, as far as like, I guess I got 2, if that's okay. And
yeah, that's fine.
I'll make it quick. And the first one, kind of stay on topic, is I got to give a tip of the hat to my latest Doberman, Crowley. And 6 years being an awesome Doberman. This dog was an absolute beast. He weighed about 95 pounds, and he was all muscle and never had a night where I didn't sleep well, knowing that he was close by. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Definitely a very well protective dog. He liked to look over the old lady the most. Like that was kind of like his job, and he'll be missed. So tip of the hat for 6 years of great service. Of being
That's awesome.
Loyal friend and protector of the house. And then of course, I got to give a second tip of the hat real quick to kind of continue from my Taco Tuesday show, and that's a tip of the hat to the very awesome Mexican Iron Man. And I got his coin here. So he just announced this morning that his YouTube days may be over very soon.
What?
As far as his being on frequently as he has been, because he might be having his son move in with him here pretty quick,
That's awesome.
and he's going to be a full-time dad, and basically it's not going to leave a whole lot of time to do the YouTube stuff that he's used to doing, and so he kind of just let us all know to prepare ourselves for a lot
Yeah.
less Mexican Iron Man, unfortunately, but hell of a guy, and he's made a hell of an impression over these last 6 years that I've known him, and tip of the hat to someone who's helped and touched so many, and now that so
Yeah.
many of us know him as not only a friend but a brother. So hail Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. For me, I'll have to say my older brother. When I got into college, he taught me a lot about life. That hey, you're going into college. It's not what you think it is. Life is gonna get crazier, and he was not wrong at all. Like it got pretty crazy, and just seeing how he is as a dad to his kids and seeing how he interacts, it gives me hope that there's guys that are my age, even in their 40s, that are just, we care and value raising kids to be right. And it's something cool to see someone close in your family that is a dad and he appreciates being a dad and just teaches you life lessons. Even when I was in college, I was like, man, I'm a homeschooled kid going into my first time ever being in, like, college was the first time I ever was in a room full of other people. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, this is nerve wracking, totally out of my comfort zone. And he said, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry. Just do your thing. And then he stopped and goes like, just don't be weird. Just do your thing, but just don't be your weird thing. And I was like, okay. He had to put one in on me on that one. I was like, all right. He goes, I know you're weird. You like to play card games by yourself. Let's just put that aside and just be yourself, and you'll find friends. And he was right. He taught me how to be confident. And then a lot of that I just took in after college and just being confident and everything. And so I really appreciate what he's done. And even though I don't talk to him as much because we all have busy lives, but when we hang out, it's a crash course of just talking about our lives and what we're going through and stuff, and just hearing what he's doing in Hollywood. I'm like, man, what other movie are you doing right now? He's like, I ain't gonna tell you anything because then you're gonna tell everybody. I've seen what shows you're on. I was like, oh. But I do appreciate him, and he's the tip of the hat for this week. He's done a lot and really supportive of what I do, and I see him every few times a year, and he's always asking me like, "How's your show doing? How's your show doing?" I was like, "Well, it's doing pretty good." He's like, "That's cool," and he always says every time, he's like, "Do what you want to do. Just do your best. Just don't do your weird side." And I was like, "Okay." And I told him, I was like, "I think they all know I'm weird." He's like, "Well, good luck." But that is the show tonight, and I want to thank everyone who's on this. This is such a good topic, and I think the takeaway to this is for any guy who just feels like they're alone, get a dog. Like, that dog is gonna bring out something in you, in the sense of, if you're like me, a big introvert, man, it's gonna push you to do more, and you're gonna be
change
very
your life.
relatable.
It'll
It
change
is.
your life.
Oh yeah. So it's,
And no matter what kind of dog it is, get them a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
except Chihuahuas. I just,
And
Even
don't
Chihuahuas look badass in a nylon bomber.
and don't expect a pug to be a watchdog.
Yeah, right.
Because the only time they show any excitement or activity is when they hear the fridge door open. And they will hear it open from across the house, no matter how quietly you attempt to open it. You look
I was
behind
gonna
you,
say,
they will be sitting behind you waiting for food.
when I was a kid, I had a beagle that if somebody broke in the house would lead them right to the valuable stuff if they promised to get an American single wrapped.
Yeah.
American
That's
cheese
the
single.
funniest thing ever. Here, come this way. I'll show you where all the China is. Right before we end off, Orville Nations just said, I was imagining Steve streaking the girls' dorms. I'm not going to deny if that ever happened or not. We'll just leave that to another topic.
Maybe he
it's
identified as a girl.
Hey, you never know, man. It was 2000. It was 2007 at that time.
And maybe these statute of limitations haven't run out yet.
Hey, oh
This is
crap!
true. Well, it was college.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
smoke a little weed, and
It was more just alcohol. But I want to thank Snowdub for coming on. Vincent, Tyler, Orty, Andy, you guys make this show happen. This is a lot of fun. I think this was a very important topic to talk about. Next week's topic may or may not happen. It depends with everyone's schedules. I want to do a veterans episode. See what I mean? Your dog, Tyler, an asshole.
My bad. I got people moving in next door.
Oh.
Do they have a dog?
I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, he's
So-
proving he's an asshole.
No, I love your dog, man. So next week, if everything works out, goes to plan, I'm going to have some people who have served in the military or who are serving in the military to give them a place where they can feel like they're accepted. Because a lot of people in the military, some of the guys, they don't feel, because once they get out of the military, they just feel like I can't connect anywhere. And I want to give that place, and I want Man-O-Rama to be that place for them. And so hopefully that happens next week. If not, I will come up with a fun topic we can all do. I don't know. There might be a new Lego build with a new Lego set coming out this weekend. Who knows? Every day I try to do a short on YouTube called 60 Seconds Daily's Advice. So those are fun. But yeah, I want to thank everyone. This has been a lot of fun. Just hanging out with you guys and just talking like men. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. All right. I'll catch you guys next week. Ciao.
Later.
Hail Hydra.